Okay, did you watch that Microsoft Copilot PC presentation today?
Believe it or not, I watched about 20 minutes of it, not even. I actually, like, work has been murdering me all morning, all day. I was just about to sit down and start watching. I saw there was some old Xbox people on the
Yeah.
stage talking smack. So I
Yep.
wanted to see what was going on, Copilot talking about playing Minecraft with Copilot and all this. What happened exactly?
Yeah, so basically they had Yusef and the crew up there doing their thing. They showed off, how Copilot, how it looks like Microsoft is fully embracing AI, like we kind of knew that they kind of were. But they had
Mhm.
a great presentation showing kind of like, some projects that they've been working on, how people, can integrate AI into things like, for example, let's say that you're in a Teams meeting with four individuals that all speak different languages. Teams can now interpret every single thing that they're saying up to four people, I think, that they showed. So one was speaking Mandarin, the other one was speaking Russian, and I think the
Mhm.
other person was speaking Spanish. So, like, it's just showing you kind of like how it makes production a lot better. And also,
Mhm.
one of the cool things that I saw was somebody was actually drawing on a tablet some mountains, right? And then they weren't really good at drawing, like many of us aren't. But the AI was generating the portrait that actually that person had, I guess, in their mind that they wanted to do. So useful as a tool there too. And the part actually that caught there's two parts that caught my attention. The first one being the AI integration that they showed with Minecraft. Did you watch anything with that?
Yeah, so I saw like and it wasn't like, from what I saw, it wasn't integration necessarily. Maybe a little later I saw him. Oh, there was more, but what I saw was basically he's playing Minecraft. He pulls up Copilot and asks him how to build a sword or whatever, and then it proceeds to tell him all the pieces of the puzzle. And then while they're playing, he sees a zombie or whatever, and Copilot basically freaks out and tells him to go run or whatever
Yeah,
because the
yeah,
zombies. That was pretty
like
cool.
yeah, like he was having like what's cool about it is that it's literally the way that they presented it was like if you're having a conversation with someone like me and you are talking right now. So
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
the dude was like, hey, Copilot, my son, he's the one that always plays this game, and what can I do here? How do I build a sword? And the Copilot, actually the AI, knew to go into the inventory to look at what was inside the inventory, and then tell the player, hey, you can't build a sword because you're missing this or that. And then like you said, when the little zombie thing started attacking him, it was also helping him, like, hey, run away or build something or do this. So really interesting stuff, man. I mean, if this is kind of like the future that we're heading, if people, with difficulties in games that you get stuck on a puzzle or something, it looks like Bing AI may be your friend.
It seems that way, right? But you know what? I also remember the time when Microsoft was like, "We are here for the creators. We're building Windows
Mm,
11 for creators," and they
mm.
had all these cool 3D tools and all this stuff, and nobody used it. 3D
Yeah.
print, 3D paint, all this 3D modeling stuff. It came, it went. So, like, while it looks cool, and they are very, very good at like, very good at presenting, right,
Hmm.
at this moment. Find use cases that excite you. Hey, I'm susceptible to it, but the question is, does this translate to people going, "Yup, this is the new evolution," or is it just gonna fall flat? You know what I mean? Time will tell. But what do you think?
Yeah, I just hope that, like, for example, they're able to leverage this stuff, like I said, just for, just to make gaming a lot more immersive, where people can have conversations. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
it sounds natural, and maybe you can kind of tell the the NPCs of the world have conversations with them, which will make you want to be in those worlds longer and make you want to interact with more people where normally you would just run by them. Stuff like that is how I hope that they kind of integrate this stuff. And it's also cool, like from a resource, from a like a tools, use them as tools. Like for example, in wrestling games, you're able to create wrestlers and logos, but for you to kind of learn the systems, you have to be kind of talented and artistic in a way, and you have to learn those tools. If you're able to use something like this to generate a logo, like I did today, as you can see, we'll get into that a little bit later. You can, I think that people's creativity and their, it's just going to take off. And I think that more people will be drawn to gaming that way. I think it's kind of like this new landscape that maybe right now we can't really understand how people are going to take advantage of it. You know what I mean?
I don't disagree, sir. I don't disagree. So I do see Floodzilla in the chat bringing up a very interesting point. In order for them to use this whiz bang AI feature set to make everything wonderful and make it all wonderful for you, and you turn into the dream that John Wolf wants, which is literally to sit down in one spot and let a stream deck hit a button and it does everything for you.
Yeah.
They have to literally monitor everything you do, read every email, see everything on your screen.
Let me tell you something. We were like always on our Twitter DM. We were kind of having fun today with some stuff, and I asked Bing to write up something like to kind of roast somebody. And it did such a good job in like 5 seconds that I was like, this is incredible. This is incredible. It created a whole story.
You literally had him make up your mama jokes against people, and it did it.
And it did it. And let me tell you, it was awesome. It roasted him real well. And I think that it kind of captured in the spirit of, the new handheld order that we're running around here now. It was excellent. And okay. But let me officially welcome everyone in the chat to Gamers Playground. Thank you all for joining us. I saw some people here early. Our usual suspects, of course. MJ Dark was in here early. NHO for life for sure. We'll be talking about that a little bit later. Six Slayer, it's Timmy, like you said, Flood. So many good people. Okay, we do have a couple of looks like members and super chats. Let's get these out of the way so that we can keep on going, brother. I'm gonna pull up the first one for you. There you go.
Yeah. And of course, Zach Riley, member, has rejoined the membership. I appreciate you, Zach. Thank you so much, man. Cool dude, member of the community. I've spoken to him on the Discord a few times. Very nice brother. Y'all should think about joining said Discord. And of course, I say this, and usually when I say this, I have the Discord link handy. And of course, I say this now, and I don't have the damn Discord link handy.
I got your back.
Do you happen to have the Discord link handy, sir?
Of course.
Come
on, man. We're a team here. This is the new handheld order. We watch each other's backs.
Oh, here we go with all this. See, I think Everborn Saga has taken over too much of this. Always coming up with new campaigns.
Hey man, listen. All I know is that I went Hollywood Hogan today, and I ain't gonna hold back on anybody, brother. That's all I know.
BT Maverick 707 with a $10 super chat. Too kind. Even before we got here, he said, "Good evening, gents. Curious if you guys know a good workaround on connecting two wireless headphones to a PC. Girlfriend and I want that sweet 60 frames on Hellblade 2.
Oh, nice. Yes.
Let's see here.
That's interesting. That's an interesting use case.
Actually, I wonder because so this is Hellblade 2. Y'all are on PC, right? What I find sometimes that I do, even though the Xbox controllers do support they have the Bluetooth support, so I can do it on console on the PC. I have the small Xbox dongle. So if you have headphones that you guys use on Xbox, all you probably have to do is get the Xbox dongle. It's like $20-$30, small little dongle. You plug it into your PC, and then you can usually literally pair it like as if it's a console and put multiple headphones in one location. You could possibly do that. So that's a thought. Give that a shot. See what's good. There are other options. I know there are some headphones that connect to multiple devices at the same time. But if you guys already do it on console, that means presumably you already have the headphones already there, and they're console headphones, right?
Right.
you buy this little dongle, and they make them PC compatible. Just a thought.
Yeah, that's good.
Salute to you, sir.
Yes, sir. Is that everybody? We got everybody? Oh, we got one
Oh,
more.
and of course, the great MJ Dark,
Mm.
Latin Quarters himself. He says, "Let's go, NHO. No compromises with handhelds."
Mhm.
John saw the light. He left the raw goons. He was just playing halibut. Can't wait for the X1 Mini from X1 Player. And we're gonna talk about that one, boy. 'Cause that's on deck. That's right.
Okay, that's on deck, man. And let's officially get started with the show. This is episode 37, folks, that we have called Perspective. Tonight's show is gonna be just a conversation, that we're having on just perspective of what we've learned, kind of like me and Kay in the last year and change with these PC handhelds. We've owned many of them. Started off with the Steam Deck, and then graduated to the Asus ROG Allies of the world. We've gone through the Legion Goes. Kay Asante early on was the founding member of the new handheld order. Him and MJ Dark. Okay, and just like this clip right here, Kay. Okay, I'm gonna show you something. I want to show you what's happened here. And of course, right on time. I needed him to join us. We have a surprise entrance here. Hey, let me ask you, do you guys remember this right here? Do you guys remember this clip right here? Okay, you know what this is? This is legendary.
Oh God! God! We gotta get demonetized. Here we go.
This is the moment where Hulkamania turned his back on the Hulkamaniacs. Okay, look, that's Macho Man laying down, and this is when the NWO was formed. Boom! Right there, it's over. And the alliance.
Now, hold on. So in this instance, I would assume you are Hulk. Would the person on the floor? Would the person on the floor be like Umbra, who's still like repping
the person on the floor is the Black Viking. Okay, good community member. He does a killer Macho Man Randy Savage voice, by the way. Okay,
yeah, brother. I do mean one myself, brother. You don't know what you're talking about.
But let me tell you something, okay? The Hulkamaniacs today have been crying on Twitter. They're telling me to stick it, okay? They're so mad because I have graduated. I have seen the light, Asus. I have learned the wrongs, but we're not gonna put. You know us here on this show. We're gonna be slanderous, but we're gonna keep it real, and we're gonna talk about everything that we've learned with all of our handhelds. And of course, we have the Chico himself, MJ Dark. Are you there, brother?
The Chico himself. What's going on, MJ Dark?
Hey, yo, it's me.
There he is.
Hey, yo, it's me, Handheld Ramon. And let me tell you, that right there, those were the Ragoons.
Oh, what are you doing, bro?
Man.
But no, what's up, guys? Thanks for having me on as always. But it's been an interesting day. I was, the whole thing with Copilot, handhelds, a lot of stuff. So definitely a lot of news. It seems like that time of year, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad that you joined us tonight, Dark, because I don't know how long you can be with us, but we're gonna be
why? Because you're finally a fraud, and I took your elbows last week, so I'm guessing you finally saw the light.
Brother, we're all part of the NHO. There's no need for this, okay? We're all part of it. Kay Asante actually is the Eric Bischoff as a group because he's been planting these seeds from a long time ago.
So no, John Wolf, let's get this straight. Kay Asante and I have been telling you since the AKO Zoe that that 1X player makes really good handhelds, and we talked about it. And when you guys talked on the show, and we talked in the Discord, we talked about the difference in support as these devices were coming into the market.
Right.
You decided to go with mainstream, right? You tried to go with the mainstream.
I was rocking
with the name,
brother. Say it.
You went with the Ragoons. You were over there at NXT because the Ragoons are NXT, bro. And then you went over there and we kept telling you, hey, man, try this, right? Listen to us, right? We have these devices. We have it in our hands. We all talk about it. And all you had to do was try it. But No,
Yeah.
you didn't listen. But after trial and error, you finally seen the light, man.
Listen, some of us are hard headed, and we got to learn things the hard way. Okay, but
so as you guys talk about the various devices, I'll see if I can post them on the screen to let people see exactly the kind of devices we're talking about.
Yeah. So AKO Zoe, I remember when Kay, I forgot what I was looking at, and Kay Asante comes up to me and says, "Have you seen this?" And I was like, "No." And him and I had like a long powwow. And when we finally got this device,
like a flood switch is the Coco beware.
Oh my! Hey! You will not slander Coco Beware. One of the greatest wrestlers ever.
You tell Flazel over there that FSR is like Ben Simmons on the New Jersey Nets. Get out of here with that.
FSR is literally the Brooklyn Brawler of upscalers.
You know what? No. FSR is the Dreamcast of upscaling.
Oh, come on.
Dreamcast guy.
Okay. So you should have added guy to that because don't just
say
Dreamcast.
Dreamcast guy. Dreamcast guy.
You can't do that to the mighty Dreamcast. Well, I don't care if you're part of the NHL. I'll kick you out of here.
But anyway, right there, the AKO Zoe, phenomenal device. 7840U, beautiful 8-inch, display. Overall, fantastic device that One X player does.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, indeed. Indeed.
So hello to legendary Yobi and everybody joining us tonight. Like me and Kay always say, man, we try to keep the show a little bit different, more slanderous, kind of like if the guys were getting together on a party chat. So let's get proper into the show.
Hold on. Before we do that though, I see a very, very interesting super chat from another great member of our community who asked a very pertinent question. This is specifically to MJ Dark. How many portable picks will MJD be play Hellblade on? Whoa, how many devices, sir? And that's what
not the ROG Ally, that's for sure. Not any 16 gigabyte machine, brother.
I've played it on multiple devices. Depending on where I want. If I'm gonna go on a long trip, I make sure I have my 65-watt handhelds, right? If not, like right now, I had my Minisforum V3, nice little big 14-inch display on there. I was playing Harold Halibut on there with my Master Chief Elite controller. So like all of us that have multiple devices, I sometimes want to I decide which one I feel I want to play that day, and just sit on the couch. Either I'm just on the couch and then I put an eGPU if I want to, or if not, I just go native on the actual device.
Right. See, now the thing that's interesting that I have noticed that it seems that the MJ Dark is really about is when you tend to have a lot of those different devices, right? When you tend to have a lot of those, then you start using them for different purposes all the time. Yep. For example, like, and I was talking to MJ in the background sometime a little while ago. Like, I will never get rid of my OG Steam Deck. Like all these other devices do so much with it. They're so powerful, right? Yep. But that OG Steam Deck is still the greatest. Why? Because right now, when I want to play Animal Well, I will break that thing out and play it at 4 TDP. Like literally 4 TDP. When I have like a 6-hour flight, break out the old Steam Deck, I'm playing that game forever. I can do the same thing with like Balatro. There are certain games you have to know that you want to play on that thing, right? You don't want to crack that open and start playing Cyberpunk if you're playing it for a minute and a half. I get it. But there are certain games that make certain devices shine. And I think, MJ, if we start getting into it, you probably have like very different categories that you play on different stuff, depending on what handheld you're.
It's funny you say that because even when it comes to like playing some of the retro games I have a device that sort of fits the specific need to the games I play, and you're right on that, right? So, like when I want to go back, if I want to play a nice, vibrant game, you can go the Legion Go, right? That nice 8-inch display. If I want to go a little bit, if I want to take advantage of like a nice 120 hertz display, I can go to the GPD Win. I can go to the One X player, the GPD Win 2023. Meaning when that back in the day, 120 hertz screen, great form factor. And if not, right, I can do recently the One X Player 2 I had, and that was a phenomenal device. 8-inch display.
2024.
Or my One X or my X1 Intel base, which I know Intel hasn't been on the great spotlight because of the MSI Claw, but the X1 is a solid device. Like I said a couple of weeks ago when I came on, if I hadn't touched an AMD device and Intel was the only device I was playing on, it was still an experience that I was playing really well. And then the one that on the screen right there, the Minus Forum, that's a beast. That's a 14-inch display. Now, what I like about this, Kane, since you bought the Steam Deck, is that this thing has something called the Minus Forum space. And what they've done is that they tailored 3 specific TDPs or wattage that you give the CPU. And there's 18, which is kind of like, kind of the middle ground. Then you have power saving, which is 15 TDP. And then when you actually hook it up to a power outlet, you unlock the 28 TDP. What I like about this device is that it's been very tailored to what we like about the Steam Deck, where I can run many games at that 15 to 18 TDP without ever touching that 28 watt TDP. Yeah. So this device is great because I like the big displays. When I'm playing big games, especially like Hellblade or any upcoming games that are open world like Cyberpunk, I need that huge display for me personally, so I can kind of immerse myself in those games.
Right. And with you saying that, right, let me take it back a little bit, because we're talking about TDPs and we're talking about a little bit more advanced stuff. But I want to go back to the beginning, right? The beginning journey for all of us, I think it's safe to say, and Dark, me and you have had this conversation offline before, which today our conversation in the morning kind of sparked this idea to have this formal conversation with you guys. Is it fair to say that because of the Steam Deck, we're all sitting here today with various devices, and just the excitement level for these PC handhelds? Because I think that I really do think that excuse me, I really do think that they
I
are.
think somebody poisoned you, man.
Yeah, apparently
the raccoons came after you.
Probably Umbra. Probably Umbra. He probably poisoned my water. Nice. No, but seriously, I think that because of the Steam Deck and because of them pushing, this forward, we're looking at here at so many handhelds that are more affordable, that are coming in at different form factors. People are excited about it. The makers, the manufacturers seem to be all in. What do you think about that?
I will say, believe it or not, my entrance into this handheld PC, handheld gaming sphere, actually for me started a little different. And I will show you what device actually was the first one that I purchased, and it kind of opened my eyes to
let me guess, the Shield.
No.
Okay.
I've always wanted the clamshell shield. I did not get one of those because by the time I caught wind, the clamshells were all like unachievable, and you go on eBay and they're asking for ridiculous prices. So I never really got one of those. But what I actually ended up getting for the first time, and it opened my eyes, believe it or not, was the Retroid Pocket 2. This was my first. I'm holding this thing right now. The Retroid Pocket 2, like small little mini device. This thing can do Dreamcast. This thing can do PS2. Right? And of course, this was early days. This is back when what do they call it? The Wild Wild West. So not only was it an Android device, because this is an Android device, it's $80, so like cheap, like Android device. And oh, by the way, they have a different UI. You press a button and it goes to a different UI. And in that UI is a store, right? And in that store, you pay for nothing. You just go, remember that game you liked? And you trigger it, and then there it is, and it's downloading from a Chinese server. Let's just say it was not the most legal of systems.
That's NHW style there.
I'll say this, right? And you guys can disagree. I think Nintendo going with the hybrid kind of scratched the itch of what can be possible when you actually put in the work on a tablet, right? And then it was the Steam Deck that sort of pioneered on the foundation that's kind of Nintendo came with to usher in that era of now realizing that before we were always looking at laptops, right? Laptops that cost a lot of money and sometimes were more in the sense of diminishing returns. And the Steam Deck changed that with a console-like UI, a phenomenal battery and power in the sense of being able to take this device on the go and emulate the console experience.
There you go. Because let's be real. like the Vita, for example, and I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Like the Vita and the PSP, I own both, and I'm sure you guys did as well.
Yeah, I was on Vita Island, bro. I was a resident.
Yeah, for sure. So so the Vita,
I still have my Vita. Yes.
yeah, so do I. The Vita and the PSP, they and the DS to a certain extent, because the DS wasn't pushing the graphical fidelity that the PSP or the Vita were, but it promised like console gaming on the go. But let's be real, guys. It was never that. Like, you weren't playing the Call of Duty version of Call of Duty.
Let me ask you this. There was a Call of Duty. Let me ask you this, guys.
Yeah, but it sucked.
Do we feel, besides the technological advances in battery and everything we need, that we also need sort of what has made consoles, and let's just say a portable like the Switch, where we do need devs profiling more closely to these devices, knowing that people do want to take their gaming on the go wherever they go with their library. So is that the next evolution, where it kind of forget the fact that we're getting every other year chips and everything like that, but we eventually need to start profiling and taking these devices as meeting customers where they're at?
Go ahead, Kate. I'll let you answer that first.
No, I completely agree. And it's actually very interesting that he asked that question, because when you guys were just saying, like, the games that you guys used to play on your Vita was not necessarily the hottest game or the most demanding or showed off console like experience, I do agree, but one company, and we got to give the people their flowers. One company showed you the potential. One company showed you the magic.
Nintendo.
Potential.
Ready at Dawn.
It was definitely not Nintendo, because Nintendo does reach where they live, right? They're okay with letting people play where they live. But for me, it was Golden Abyss.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my! I remember buying that game.
I played through that. I played through that the first day that the Vita launched. I played through it the whole day. I called that at work, and I just sat there and I beat it all in one sitting.
But here's a problem to that, right? Sony did not continue to provide these console-like experiences.
Exactly. So listen. I was literally a girlfriend at the time, wife now. She lived in the Netherlands. I lived in the States. It takes 8 hours of flight to get there. I played this whole game on one flight. The whole way. At the end, I was like, actually, I played half of it to get there because the game was hard in the beginning, and then the other half as well. Stop that. Anyway, this game, with the exception of the goofy, gimmicky back paddle things they kept trying to pimp on people.
That's the worst. That's the worst.
How Sony do. Besides that, though, this was like, oh my god. This is all the Unchartedness that I've come to know and love about Uncharted, but in the palm of my hand. And
this showed that the dream was possible.
That's right.
I remember paying the extra $50 to get the Vita on Valentine's Day because I wanted to get this game, this console.
Yeah.
And it was part of like a Valentine bundle, and I got this one game that was like a mobile game with like, I can't remember what the name of it was, but I needed the Vita. And it was Uncharted. It was Killzone Mercenary, which I went nuts on that game, and even playing online,
which was really good.
Yeah, it was.
Yes,
good.
It was good. It graphically, it looked good. So let it not be said that we're all here just Steam Deck and all this. Yeah, we love our decks and all that. But I'll tell you, there were some sparks in the beginning. And by and large, in the console space anyway, Sony had it in the beginning, and then of course they let it slide.
The problem was with Sony, and I'm just talking in general as well, is that they weren't thinking with the mentality of bringing console experience per se. They were sort of trying to attack what we're still here today, trying to attack the mobile market. And how do you make these experiences? Because I mean, I think the closest thing, some games were bite-sized for the Vita, right? But then you have other ones. So for instance, I'll give you an example. I remember I play it all the time and I still own it. Metal Gear Collection when it came over there. But it wasn't until Peace Walker that it was a bite-sized mobile experience that you can just stop and go and just take it. And I think now we've gotten to a point where now we want them to focus on that console, whatever extension of the PC or the console, on our handhelds finally, versus giving us mobile experiences.
Well, you know what? Let's reframe it back to where we were, which is at least in the paradigm we know today, which is that handheld PC-like gaming experience, and what really did it. And I won't deny it, of course. Y'all heard me. You guys have heard me spending them gay bucks forever. It was definitely the Steam Deck, and it was because of this UI. Yeah. It was because of this UI, right? The simple ease of use, how you could, they should have even somehow found a way of hiding the fact that it was Linux, because that threw a lot of people off, and a lot of people didn't even want to try it because they heard it was Linux. But if you didn't hear it was Linux, or you knew nothing about it, you would be playing this thing and you would never even know that you're using Linux operating system. It is so well put together.
Isn't it crazy that Valve already had the software, and it took a couple of failures when it came to like Steam machines and everything like that? And now we're here. Fast forward, they learned from their Steam machines, and they finally have a dedicated device.
Yep. And it shows that you don't throw away everything that you've worked on. You refine your tools, and then you come back with something with a good offering.
Iterate.
And sometimes you have to, and sometimes it takes luck. It takes luck to launch something that'll take off. And I think that, with where I'm trying to kind of gear us in this conversation is that the Steam Deck is definitely like Dark was saying, yes, Nintendo with the Switch and all their success, I think that Nintendo proved that portable gaming is something that gamers want. I think that that's something that they proved with the Switch. Like, people like the idea of taking your game on the go, or sitting on the couch or wherever, and then docking it when you want that, immersive experience, or whatever the case may be. But the problem is that we as gamers understand that the more demanded, the more demand, the more power you need, et cetera, et cetera. And that's why kind of like these PC handhelds are what kind of scratch our itch. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So in the year, right? And I'll start with UK, and then I'll go to you, Dark. In the year plus that we have passed, right? Let's kind of reminisce here on your tool set that you've been using for PC gaming. I know that you started you showed us already with the AOK Zoe. That's been your daily driver for like a year. Is that device still in your rotation? How are you feeling about the A1 Zoe? Is it still like you think you from the beginning you joined the new handheld order, and you went, for the power and the 64 gigs of memory and all that? Are you still like satisfied with that handheld, that you're like, man, this is like, I did good by choosing this?
I gotta say. So let me tell you a really, really weird story. Okay. So I bought my house, the house I own right now, sight unseen. Right. I literally was first house I ever tried to buy. Right. Came to the neighborhood. If you know where I live in Florida, you'll know that they have very tight restrictions on how you can keep your place. So one place looks as good as other places because they're not going to let anything slip. At least it looks great. So if you don't find a house in the house you're looking for, the house next door might work, and you may not even have to go see it because they keep it straight, right? So I ended up buying this place sight unseen. 13 years later, I still live here. It was like my first shot was the good shot, right? I say the same thing about the AOK A1 Pro. Why? Because put the Steam Deck to the side, right? Steam Deck was Steam Deck. It did what it did. And then we needed a Windows device. And traversing that Windows Game Pass divide was too difficult for some, right? Some people even ended up like installing WinDeck. I did the same thing, right? And then you have to run the entire operating system from SD card, and there's diminishing returns and storage space issues and all of this.
Yep.
The A1 Pro, to this very day, right? Even in the world where you got 8840U's devices out there, to this very day, I will tell you that, this person comes with a better screen, you still can't beat its battery. This person comes with a better battery. No, you don't. There are no other players at that size with that battery, right? Oh, this person comes with you can't beat its software. To that very day, MJ Dark, Mr. Latin Quarters, Mr. Handheld King himself. Guess what he's playing with these days? He's playing with the X1 player. Guess what the X1 software is? Basically an AOK Zoe, same software, different company name, even though they're all under one umbrella, right? You end up finding that the AOK Zoe, like the way they set it up, and I bought the GPD Win Max 2. I end up using it more as a laptop than I do a handheld device. Why? Because their software is not as turnkey as the A1 Pro. Like, and you're gonna learn that, John, getting your X1 coming up soon. You hit a button and there's your TDP control. You can flick it any way you want to make it work exactly the way you want. You can even go down the Wiimote route by flicking that side panel. They have found the perfect balance of giving you that performance you want, they do auto TDP and it works great. Like, when I first got this thing, I was like, the software could be better and all of this, right? To this very day, I have tried the handheld companion. Y'all see me online doing the what do you call it? The play night and all these. I've paid for software, the front ends, customize it to my own liking. I end up going back to the default of this because it's just good. This is.
And this is the device right here that we're showing, correct?
That's the device, yes. And let's be clear, it's not just this device. It's just the device, true, but it's the software. If you show the X1 player, the one that you're going to be getting soon, same software, same updates.
Okay, you know what it is? They don't have that sexy name.
That's what it is.
And sometimes their marketing is not the same way where Ioneo brings like 1,000 devices in 1 week. And secondly, people don't understand that these are the OGs in the sense of like having stuff. They're kind of a little bit in the space. They've been way before Ioneo was Ioneo, and they were way before even GPD Win, even though they've been in the game as well. So I agree with everything you said so far. The 1X console has evolved as software in the sense of like, just like I've seen Ioneo space grow. When it comes to the GPD Win motion assistant, I think the only person that would love it is Floodzilla, because he likes nasty FSR.
Wow. Okay.
And hold on. We have Umbra in the chat.
Infinite Ragoon.
So I did have something saved for him. Let me tell you something, brother. Okay, you're not gonna come into the show and try to derail the show, brother, with your let me hear you say no, it's the NHO, the new handheld order, brother.
Stop it, bro. This is ridiculous.
Here's the thing, he's upset that
they're having too much fun.
Asus has moved on to the ROG X and then getting no updates. He ain't gonna be able to play Ghost of Tsushima anymore.
And we'll
hold on. He wants me to talk. He says, "Where's the talk about the ROG Ally?"
Oh, we're gonna get there.
Talk about the ROG. Hold on.
Oh, sir,
I'll give him. Give me a minute. Let me give you ROG Ally talk. Stop it. Let me talk about ROG Ally talk. First off, I really enjoyed the UI. Right? They did the best they could with what Windows gave them. Because let's be real here, Windows should have been a bit more customizable. It wasn't. So they did the best with what they could. Right? They have a nice UI. They have a nice somewhat customizable stuff. It looks like they're gonna go even further in that direction. That's cool, right? I do like what they offer, but because I know what show we're on and who I'm on with, I will say, to me, it's like Spotify versus the radio, right? ROG Ally is the radio. They'll give it to you. You'll enjoy it because that's all you got. But if you want that
so are you saying that ROG Ally is Ja Rule?
Yes. I say ROG Ally to AOK Zoe's Ja Rule versus Pac. I'm sorry.
All right. So hold on. Let me interject here because
look at that.
I feel like if I have to clear the air here on something.
Is this the eulogy for the ROG Ally today?
Hold on.
Well, no. One last bit of good news I'll say about the ROG Ally real quick. I'll let you go.
Wait, but I'm not going to talk bad about it. I actually have a lot of good things to say.
It's free at soup kitchens.
No. I actually
a good price when I sold mine last week.
I actually and Umbra, like I said, I'm gonna give it to you like a promo, brother. This is and we all know I was rocking with the ROG Ally till recently. Okay, this is the thing. As you go trying other handhelds and you start kind of comparing, what happens is that and me and MJ Dark were having this serious conversation in the morning about this. We don't have like like there is no one size fits all when it comes to these handhelds. There are compromises that need to be made, and we know that handheld Ramon over here, the Latin quarters, he's an
Handheld Ramon.
he's an
Oye,
enthusiast.
chico, ¿qué pasó?
He's an enthusiast. He's always upgrading. He's always looking for the latest and greatest because he's an enthusiast, right? And we are too, to a certain extent. But we're also looking for that device where we can say, okay, this is the one. The thing about the ROG Ally is that till this day, I still think it has one of the top 3 screens on any handheld on the market with that 120 frames and the VRR. That's a game changer. I also think that let me just say this. Let me just finish real fast.
Yeah.
I also think that the ergonomics of the device till this day to me is very comfortable, which actually led me to sell my Legion Go and get the 1X Player 2 that I got from Latin Quarters that's coming this week. Because it was like the round edges, just like you see here with the ROG Ally, those round edges. That's for me, comfort wise, I need that because
the 50 states.
Because the Legion Go and again, these situations are different for everybody. I like the same things that I'm looking for in a device, K's not looking for, and the same thing with MJ. Like we're all looking for our own catered device and experience, right? And what I found was that the Legion Go, believe it or not, after about an hour of gameplay, the edges, since they were sharp and they're like straight edges, they were digging into my hand where I was literally like going, like shaking my hand, like, damn, man, like, why does this handheld hurt when I play? Like my hands hurt, and that's weird. That's not natural for me. So
let me give you like just one bit of my main reason for criticizing the Ally and my main reason for selling.
We know what it is.
What is it?
The battery. It is the biggest.
Thank you. Well, it's one of two for me. What's one of two for me? Okay. One, the main reason is the battery. The second reason is for all my brothers out here who are rocking that eGPU. It's the craven tactics.
Yes,
of forcing you to buy their customized like proprietary
eGPU.
And you told me
$1,000. Yes,
and you warned me about that.
Stuff.
You warned me about that in the beginning, and since inexperience and just no, I want it. I learned the hard way. I know what you're talking about.
Now, question before I continue here. What's the name of that device you're going to get again very soon there, Mr. John?
It is the 1X Player 2 Pro. Let me put it on the screen again.
You mean this? I've already have it on the screen for you. Shout out to the man ETA Prime. This is his video for.
And can I tell you both something that I didn't do, that I was judging these companies a little bit harsh and thinking that these devices were less than. That's why I was so enthused into getting into the Asus water and the Lenovo water.
I'll say this, John, to anyone who's interested in these devices that I learned, right? I know we're talking about how we got in. 1X was my entry while I was waiting for my Steam Deck. And what I've done is, like I was telling Kay today, they know me in the Discords. I've joined all their Discords, and they have some amazing moderators that provide great support within those chats. And what I would tell people is that, yes, if you get a ROG Ally, if you get a Legion Go, MSI Claw, you can go into a Best Buy and you can do that. But I think it's the same experience, right? You can have a bad person that doesn't help you really well, or you can have it returned multiple times, it doesn't work. What I would,
but you know what, MJ, though? You know what, though? I will push back on a little bit of what you're saying here. And just like that.
Let me finish though.
Please.
There's two ways to get these. There's a couple of ways to get these devices that I would recommend. One of them is, if you don't want to deal with that, I would recommend the site DroidX. They're on Amazon and they're on their website. And what happens with them is that if you buy from them, even on Amazon or on their website, you're going to have a slight markup, but you get automatically 2 years of a manufacturer's warranty. And so far, from my devices from them, I've had the most excellent customer service to date. Meaning,
but that's where I was going, right? That's where I was going. Just like that analogy I was making, like the radio hits versus Spotify. this thing looks amazing, right? And you can do Droid X, right? And it'll give you a customer service you want. But let's be clear, and you guys can please push back on me. I want you to. Mm-hmm. The best way to dip your toe in these waters is probably to walk into a Best Buy. Because God forbid anything goes down, you can just walk right back into said Best Buy and be like, hey, take this. Whereas everybody else, all the other companies, you got a little bit of the moving and shaking.
But I'll say this, Kay. I can push back on this, right? Okay. You can, right? I've purchased stuff from Best Buy. I just to give everyone here, I've worked in retail and been the person at a Microsoft store that had to deal with broken technology, right? Not everyone wants to do right by a customer sometimes. Sometimes you'll have that stickler that tells you, oh, well, you didn't buy a warranty, so let's send it out to ASUS, right? And even when you send it to OEMs, that doesn't mean because ASUS is a big OEM that you're always going to get that, perfect thing. Yes, you have a sort of kind of like fail safe, but that's why I also recommend like that I was saying, Droid X. They are a retailer. They ship everywhere. I had an issue with my slide, my INEO slide. Unfortunately, the first one came defective. They not only took it back and the shipping, they allowed me to then, when the 64 gig version came in and went on sale, they allowed me to upgrade for the additional price that it was on sale for, like $20, and they sent it back. When I got that one, it was defective. Not even 2 days later, they hit me up, the actual support. I had fast shipping of that device to me, and I finally found the one that was a good batch. And it was great. It was email, it was chat, and again, I took a huge leap because when you go on Indiegogo, you're dealing with INEO.
Taking a leap. That's right.
And I can tell you, I had INEO. I forgot what device I had that I literally called the company. Oh, it was 1X. I called their number, their American number. And the lady said, wait, give me a second. I'm gonna get a translator. And finally, after like a couple of days, I was able to get a solution. But again, these are the things of dealing with companies outside, but they're great devices because I think what I didn't like about the ROG Ally, or let's even talk about the Legion Go, is that there's a lot of restrictions to it. So meaning I don't have the ports that I want to. I can freely go get the eGPU or solution that can be beneficial or affordable to me. And I like that. Think about it this way, right? If I buy a console right now and I go buy 3 years later a pro version of a console, I wasted extra money when I could have just got the device that I wanted and it lasts longer for me.
I agree with that. Now, let me say something that really disappointed me with ASUS, okay? And again, I always this is a reason why I call Kay Asante the Eric Bischoff of our group. Okay, he was planting those seeds since day one. Since this thing got announced, he was saying, "Be wary, it's ASUS. I'm hearing things about their motherboards, and I didn't listen. And I'm like, this is a handheld. Well, that's not going to be a motherboard. And lo and behold, what happens? The SD card fiasco. It's very, very disappointing to me that, in fact, this did finally like a month ago, I said, you know what? When they came out with the news that they were giving people extended warranties, I was like, why isn't that a thing from day one? That was extremely disappointing
because they wanted to mask it. I listened to ACG who had a reviewing it, and he said that he heard from people at Best Buy and other that people were just returning it for these issues. And of course, ASUS can't come out like any company and just say, hey, the recall that they would have to do because they have to redesign the device would be ridiculous. So what they did to mitigate it is through software, meaning the fan and everything like that. So that's why sometimes you heard your ROG Ally kind of sound like a jet because of these things. So when we look at the ROG Ally X, it probably takes into consideration some of the things that they felt that they maybe didn't design it as good that caused some of the issues that we saw with the current iteration.
For sure.
So, gentlemen, may I pause for just a moment because I have to do this. I'm going to do this until eventually he gets embarrassed.
What's that? What do we got?
I will pause a quick moment and salute to one of the great members of our community, Soil Tech, who's in here now. For those who don't know, he's the reason why I'm gonna get to go to FanFest. The man hooked me up with a +1 this weekend.
That is amazing,
brother.
Nice.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
You.
I am still doing a dance every single time.
Hey man,
thanks
to Soil Tech, we're literally gonna be able to spread the NHO love around GamesCon. Asante, I want you representing. I need you representing out there. Throw up those NHO, signs, signals.
And then when you see a Ragoon, you go, Squale.
But seriously, that's
I love that name, the Ragoons. That's terrible, bro.
Ragoons.
Yeah. And let me tell you, Umbra, you came in a little late and you missed Hogan dropping that leg.
Dude, that's the leader of the Ragoons, Infinite Umbra, man.
So let's move a little bit forward. So Dark, you didn't get a chance to let us know. You've had so many handhelds, brother, that I don't even know. I don't even know if you remember what was really the first handheld that you're like, I'm really digging this. Like, this is my thing.
I'm not gonna go back in time. I've loved handhelds since I was a kid. The 1X player, the original 1X player was my first handheld. I remember I was talking to my friend Askab, who's an engineer. He's online, and I was waiting for the Steam Deck because unfortunately I got into the batch that was there. I was like, I need handheld, right? Mm-hmm. Especially for me as a parent, I wanted to sit in bed, I wanted to play, and I saw this company and he had the device, and I said, hey, let me go in and purchase it. I bought the 4800U 1X player, and it was a 1600p device. And I just remember trying to learn this. I was like, what is this UI? I don't know what TDP. So from there, I just started going online, watching YouTube videos, kind of getting into that community. And that bug just bit me because when I started finding out there was something called Ioneo, like many of us have been talking right now, I've been in search of the perfect device, right? The Steam Deck is fantastic on all counts, but the problem is, right? Linux, I don't like, and it's a me problem, meaning I don't like to do the extra work that I need to do to get Windows things running. Mm-hmm. So I've had my first device after that, premium device, I would say, was the Ioneo. And that was a nightmare because you guys know I had to kind of go on Twitter and kind of let them know. And the 2S was my device after many months. And I think I've appreciated each one of the devices. And if I had to say my main rotation at the moment would be the Minas Forum V3. When I want to play my big titles, like I told you. I still go back to my Legion Go because I love that 8.8 inch display, 144 hertz.
And the ergonomics doesn't bother you? You see how we're different like that?
Well, but again, I got gorilla fingers and gorilla hands. So when I think it's great for me, the comfort. I even like the FPS mode. People don't use it, and one of the things I learned I can use the FPS mode. For many people that maybe want RTSs, you can actually use this for RTSs. So I can play an RTS or say a Baldur's Gate using FPS mode. Is not only because it's a mouse cursor, and you can. And now Lenovo has put stuff to kind of like bind the buttons.
Yeah, they have.
Now the other one that I had was the X1, which I sold this week, but I saw that they announced the X1 Mini, and I'm just like, I'm going to get that. I even told Kate today, check this out.
So that is the future device. Let's talk about that for a moment. The future device. So here it is right here. Let's just say whenever Latin Quarter speaks, I listen. I got the ducats ready. This
let me tell you.
This
will
be my replacement for my A1 Pro right now.
Right. The X1, I think I love it. I love the design.
This is the X1 right here, guys.
Yeah. It's literally think of it as a Surface Pro. It's built efficiently, and then when you take the controllers, they dock like a Switch. Then you have a full handheld on there. It has OcuLink, so for people to know, OcuLink is a little bit much more faster when it comes to using an external GPU. What I did is I bought an actual OcuLink dock, and I bought a 2070 Super, which I attached to all my devices. And when I want to get that extra performance,
wait, a 4070, not a 2070, right?
A 4070 Super.
You went back in time on us.
When I dock it, you can think of it
like
as
you were in the Umbra days. You went back to
you're
the
right.
Umbra days there with that.
Hey now, don't do that. Don't do that.
What you gonna do, Umbra?
So
Man.
now when I saw the Mini, one of the things that I like about this device that we was telling Kay is similar to the WinMax 2, where you can actually unscrew the back and it has a swappable hard drive. I was telling Kay that the main hard drive is there, and you can add an additional hard drive like I did to the WinMax 2, which
That's
was
amazing.
The WinMax 2 is one of my top devices, just to let you know.
Oh, dude, 144 hertz, just like the Lenovo Legion Go. 8.8 what? How big is that screen? 8.8 also?
8 inch. Yep, 8.8. And then
this is
also,
the only device that has checked every box to this day, that has checked every box that my A1 Pro has and has a better processor.
That's amazing.
Only device.
Yep, that's a good one. That's a good one, Kay. If you were to, get that in the future, I think you'll be happy with that. But this is what I'm talking about, guys, and that's the thing. Like, you can see like how the conversation's going. I'm trying to lead it. How we're very fortunate, guys. Let's be real. We're able to kind of switch up devices, sell them, and do stuff like that. Not everybody is in that situation. Some people have to make a decision and be happy with that decision. And I just want to make this clear. There's nothing wrong with that. If you bought a Steam Deck day one and you still enjoy it and you don't find the justification or don't have the means to do that, there's nothing wrong with that. I hope that everybody knows that when we say things, all three of us are just joking. We do this tongue in cheek. We don't mean anything like that. But honestly, like in the plethora of devices that we have here, the one thing that I want to make very clear that I have learned myself that I feel like many people may not know is that these companies that are offering these many devices and form factors, they're doing a lot of interesting stuff out here. You have
John,
Zoe.
Don't mean to interrupt.
Cool.
I'm gonna head out, but thank you for having me on the show, guys. Always appreciate talking.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely.
I'm gonna go listen to the chat. John, unlike you, no, I really mean it to the Ragoons. Ally sucks. No, I'm just messing with you.
I mean the Chico.
I'm joking. I just know Umbra's in the chat, so I like ruffling the feathers.
Before you go, let me get a too sweet, brother. And NHO is too sweet, okay? So that's what I'm talking about.
Hey, yo, Chico, NHO is too sweet.
All right, so okay, I'll continue with you.
Shout out to the Ragoons as well.
For sure. Okay, I'll continue with you.
I need a shirt where a bunch of people are like eating pasta and it says Ragoons at the top.
For sure. Bro, we need so many shirts. Like this NHO is going to take off. I know it is. I saw Yobi asking for it. Yobi, we got to get on that, man, and we'll get those stuff to you. But like I was saying, just to finish this kind of like mini rant here. Please. I think you'll agree with me. If you chose a ROG Ally and you're content with it, there's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, we're just, having good fun here. But the one thing that I will say that I want everyone to listen to is the advice that we're giving. It could be important to the choice that you make, because I learned a lot of things. One of the things that I learned, for example, is that this past weekend, and Kay knows because I was on the phone with him a lot, I was asking him, "Kay, man, I'm torn. Should I get the 1X Player 2 or should I get the AYN, the Neo Flip DS? It looks so interesting. It's really calling my name, but I don't know what to do." And guess what? Because of my experience with the ROG Ally and the shortcomings of that battery, that it's a 40 watt-hour battery, as soon as I saw that the Flip DS has a 40 watt-hour battery, okay, I checked out. I was like, nope, not for me, because I know what that means. That means sacrifices. That means that you literally need to live tethered. And for some people, that's perfectly okay. They're like, hey, I play my handheld sitting next to my outlet. I don't care. And you know what? That is amazing. But me, I don't.
So just for those who want to understand, this is the Flip DS. It looks amazing. It is a bit of a chunky boy, as you can see.
Wanted it. I wanted it.
Chunky boy.
I was feeling
I hear
it.
There's rumor and speculation that this screen is they're going to make a bigger version of this screen here. It's a 7-inch device, 7-inch screen, not 8-inch, and the battery is somewhat limited. But let's be clear here. This thing is really cool. And yes, it looks like a small mini handheld, but this thing can run any game. that all these other devices out here can
Oh
do,
yeah.
right?
Yep.
And you can put almost anything on that mini screen. So imagine all the possibilities. So
Yep.
it is quite cool in concept, but like you're saying, the more you grow in this space and the more you learn in this space, the more you start having certain requirements, right? When I see the 7-inch screen, I'm like,
yeah. Once you go 8-inch, pause. You can't go back. That's all I'm saying.
You know, when they start giving you like smaller batteries, it starts becoming a problem. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, and the funny thing about all of this is the thing that makes this stuff really a deal. What made this a deal breaker for me specifically was the minute you see the price tag on that thing, $800 for basically the same 7840U or 8840U device, right? Less battery life, smaller screen, but because it's got this ingenuity with a new screen and things like that. That's why that's why it justifies that price. The pricing is still all over the place. So it's not necessarily like, oh, well, this is better than the other one or whatever. It's all about what's good for you, right? If the battery is a deal breaker, it's a deal breaker. If the screen size is a deal breaker, it's a deal breaker. If this one is 32 gigs and you want 16 gigs, it's a deal breaker.
Right.
One thing I will say for those out there who are just like, look, I just want to play my games. I don't want to deal with any of this. That is perfectly fine. If you are okay with playing your games on what you have and not having a problem, that's fine. But if this is enticing to you, right? If this is interesting to you, but you're like, oh, I don't want to invest too much. Let me tell you this. I had an ROG Ally, had it for some time. I enjoyed the ROG Ally, but at some point the battery life, no, stop.
I'm just playing.
I had the ROG Ally for almost a year, for about 8 months.
Yep.
Right?
We had it since I had it since day one, and I think you got it like 2 weeks later or something.
2 weeks later. That's right. I enjoyed it for what it was, but at some point I was like, look, now they're coming out with the new Ally, the Ally X. You know, they're going to potentially fix some of the issues they had there. And by and large, I still end up playing more on my A1 Pro, or I'm just not enjoying this device as my daily driver. So I sold it. Now, I bought that device for $600. No, was it $600 or $700? I think I bought it new.
It was $7.
It was $7. Yeah, I put a 2 terabyte drive in it. Used it for its use case. I got a pretty damn good deal on the 2 terabyte drive. So I removed the 512 and put a 2 terabyte drive in it, and then I sold it for $600. And basically got, I lost $100.
But I mean,
I got the use out of it I wanted, and now I have that money to be able to pine, and that is exactly what I am doing.
Absolutely.
I will be pining over this device.
Oh,
I will buy this device.
I'm excited for you. I'm excited for you, and let me tell you, look, what besides because I got the 8840U variant and Latin quarters again. Shout out to Chico Ramon over here with handhelds. Okay. Let me tell you guys something. Okay. This device was exactly what I needed. And what do I mean by that? It has the ergonomics, as you can see, with the round edges.
Okay.
Okay.
But
go ahead.
Refusing to not be slanderous, even when he's not on the show. This is terrible. He says, with $2 super chat, he says ROG stands for Republic of Goons. Hey,
it's too sweet, baby. It's too sweet. Okay,
Jesus.
so okay. Like I was saying, so I needed a device that married the Legion Go and the Asus ROG Ally, and guess what? I think I found it because the ergonomics are round. Like I really enjoyed the ergonomics of the ROG Ally a lot. Like I thought that they did such a great job with it. It was so comfortable when I would play on it. And this has that 8-inch plus screen that the Lenovo Legion Go had. Plus, we're dealing with 32 gigabytes of memory here. The Ragu crew and the Lenovo crew is going to have troubles with Hellblade tomorrow, probably. It is what it is, limited on the 16 gigabytes of memory. And also we're dealing with just the faster processors. So for me, it was a no-brainer to kind of upgrade, but again, nothing wrong. If you tell me right now and you're like Umbra and you're like, hey, I'm perfectly content, I'm happy, I'm super happy for you, but I am going to drop that leg drop on you. That's for sure. But
okay. Well, one thing that I will push back on, just a slight pushback. And it's not to say that what you're saying is wrong. All I'm saying is, at the end of the day, there are different use cases, right? Absolutely. And we've already established that there are different use cases.
Yep.
And for that, because we know we are a minority within a minority within a minority.
Yes, right? We are. We're the new handheld order. Yes.
Let's stop it. Let's be absolutely clear, right? This becomes almost a lifestyle. You start enjoying just testing the handhelds in addition to the games you play, right? It's very fun, right? They are all different variations of each other because they all basically have the same hardware. They all basically have either the 7840U hardware, which is AMD, or the 840U hardware, which is also AMD, right? And also, they all have either 16 gigs of RAM or 32 gigs of RAM, and you can go up from there. They all have the same kind of design language. So I guess what I'm saying is, if you are curious, you don't have to be afraid to jump into those waters. Although I would say, like, I still, to this day, if somebody said, "Hey, man, these handhelds look really cool. I want to jump into these handheld waters, but I know nothing about it." I'll say, is Xbox/PC games super important to you? Like Xbox games? If it is, ROG Ally or Legion Go. Pick one of those two.
Absolutely.
If it's not, Steam Deck. Because to this very day, those are still the radio hits that I still contend anyone and everyone can jump into. Now, once you recognize their pitfalls or their shortcomings, much like the consoles themselves, then maybe you are no longer the target audience. It's time for you to venture out. Maybe start understanding what a TDP is, start understanding what 32 gigs of RAM does for you versus 64, stuff like that. But if you don't get it, don't worry about it. Get yourself an ROG Ally. I would recommend you get the Ally X. Hell, you know what? Wait for the Ally X to come out, because you know what that'll do? That'll turn the standard Asus ROG
clearance
Allies
clearance
super cheap. You don't want to pay $600. You want to pay $300. You want to pay $200.
Just get a warranty. Get a warranty though.
Like I'm saying, when the time comes and the new guys show up, the old ones will be on clearance. If this isn't about, oh my God, I'm investing all my money, if this becomes more about I'm just dipping a toe, right? Those waters are fine, right? And then soon enough, you'll realize that, okay, now I understand what I want and I want more. And then you can do that investing, right? There are so many options out there for you. You shouldn't even worry about it. Like the Legion Go, I hadn't had a chance to really put it through its paces. I happened to walk into a Best Buy a couple of weeks ago and I played with that thing. Like, it is quite good. I do understand what you mean by the corners are a little too sharp. Like,
bro, if this wasn't so straight here, like you'd see how it's like straight all the way bottom, and that was more round. That would have been my device. It would have been my daily driver for sure.
Yeah, the body style is close to the A1 Pro, but the A1 Pro is very ergonomic and round on the grips, whereas this one has very sharp edges. I bet, like mark my words, give it like 2, 3, 4 months, you're gonna hear, oh, the ROG Ally X is doing great, and oh, by the way, the Legion Go X is on its way.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. For sure. And hopefully they upgrade all kind of like the complaints and stuff like that. And I hope for their sake that they kind of fix this, straight edge thing. But even if they don't, it doesn't matter. I mean, it is what it is. It's nice that we I think it's very nice. Like I'm excited that we're able to give kind of insight on these various devices, because we're kind of experiencing them for anyone listening. And I hope that you guys, like the listeners, just know that as we go, we learn also. So you're not like alone. I learned through my journey with the Asus ROG Ally. Hey, you know what? I can see its shortcomings, and now I want something different, and et cetera, because that's the way I am. But again, there's plenty of people that will tell me, hey, I love my Ally. I'm never getting rid of this thing, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I will tell you this, Kay, to kind of go on to this final topic, and then we'll get out of here. Let me ask you this. From seeing where the landscape where we are now, right? We're like in this. I think we're on the cusp of just this portable explosion, and what I mean by that is it's like Nintendo got the ball rolling here for us. The Steam Deck added, to the momentum. It looks like Xbox is going to go there also. Now there's even rumors that PlayStation's bringing out a handheld that plays PS4 games, and of course we know all the various PCs. Okay, I understand the need for, and that there will always be a market for those that want to sit in their TV and watch and play a game. And play a game on their TV, or they want a PC rig and they're gonna hook up to a monitor. But I want to say that the mobile space to me, case seems like where the majority of gaming is going to take place in the future. Do you agree with that or no?
No, I definitely do agree with you on that, because even for businesses, right? Even for those who are in the business of making these games, clearly there's always going to be a need for there's always going to be those who want to push the next gen. They want to push graphic fidelity. They want to push the most insane of next gen stuff. But as we can all see, the more they push in that direction, the more money they themselves are losing. That is the reason why Nintendo continues to sell you a piece of toast and plays games on it, and the games are great, right? Who said that? I forget who said that. Somebody said that to me recently. I think it was Latin Quarters himself, saying that limitations breed ingenuity, right? Which is true. Nintendo has been limiting their hardware for a long time and saying, developers, deal with it. And what do you get? Amazing games, right? That's what you get. Even though they're selling you a half-eaten piece of toast from 7 years ago. You know what I'm saying? And looking at the environment we find ourselves in as far as gaming is concerned, with where businesses are forced to cost cut and correct and all of this, and somehow it doesn't look like they're still making the money they should be making. It is in their best interest to sell you lower tier hardware and let ingenuity ride, rather than pushing the next speeds and feeds, because eventually it's diminishing returns, right? So mobile is the way forward. Like, look at all the big games of the world, right? The ones that everyone plays, that everyone agrees is the biggest games out there. Fortnite plays on everything, right? Call of Duty. I'm on the stage with the Call of Duty devotee.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like Minecraft plays on a piece of toast, right? All the big games that make all the money play on everything. So while I do agree, the red box switch runs at 3 to 5 watts. Exactly.
It's true though. I mean, that's it's a marvel, So
while there are those among us who will sit there and put a pinky in the air with the 4090 liquid cooled and all this other ridiculously,
this man wants to get kicked out of the NHO. Come on, man.
The main game in town is smaller hardware sipping games that a lot of people will enjoy, spend a lot of money on, and it doesn't necessarily cost that much to do it. So I say all that to say 100%, the future is mobile. It just is, right? Yeah. Now, when we hear that, we think Candy Crush. It doesn't automatically mean that, right?
Right.
Not automatically that, right? And I see you, Lucius. Shout out to you. He says Windows on ARM is the solution. Yes. And what is that? Windows on ARM? By all accounts, they're bringing mobile technology, right? Mobile phone matured technology to your desktop class operating system, right?
Right.
So, and because they can do that, that means they can scale up and down quite easier. So there's a world where your game that's on your mobile device can also scale and give you crazy wattage and speeds and feeds on your desktop as well. But the underlying technology is mobile technology. So I do really see that there's a future. There will be a future for your Hellblades, right? There will be a future. There will always be a room for the monster titles. But believe it or not, it's few and far between. You're going to start seeing a lot more Animal Wells, which runs at 33 megabytes. 33 megabytes, right? You're going to start seeing a lot more of them. And frankly, a lot less Hellblades, because they are big monster games that require real, and I'm being presumptuous here. I haven't gotten my hands on it yet. Once you've seen me put a screenshot on there, I'll tell you how much of a beefy monster it is or not. Pause. But it looks like, Unreal Engine 5 fat baby, the whole thing. It's going to run great. It's going to look great, but it's also going to, run like it needs that hardware. And that's not going to be the future of gaming, because that means they got to keep trying to sell you on bigger, badder hardware, which does not make them any money.
I think that like we're like in this beautiful stage of gaming, okay, that gets me so excited because when I look at like everything that I have around, my house gaming related, I'm very blessed in that I can pick how I want to game that evening,
Yes.
right? Like for
Mhm.
example, um tonight I might do I might do a handheld, or I might do the phone to play some Call of Duty Warzone mobile, and that's a great experience. That's very close to a console like experience already, and it's just so exciting that there's just so many ways to interact with gaming, where before, like when we were growing up, you had your NES or your SNES, and that was really about it. And then if you were lucky enough to be, for your parents to have the funds to get you a Game Gear, which I wasn't, or a Game Boy,
Yeah. Yeah.
you were playing, in black and white, or you were playing with 9 batteries that they would drain in an hour, and then your mom would be like, I'm not buying you any more batteries for the week. So
Mhm, mhm.
we've come so far, and I myself, and I think you also have this in our tight group, right? We all have like this appreciation, man, of what this is. And the thing is that, like, for example, that's why I think that the mobile space is going to be like where it's at, because you'll have your majority of people playing on their phones. Then you'll have a segment of people playing on handheld devices from all different OEMs. And then also, let's say that you don't have the means, or you just simply don't want a 4090 in your house, right? Or a 4080. You just don't want it, or don't want to build it, don't want to spend the money. You can sign up for GeForce Now and play the game with all the bells and whistles. There's so much choice that is out there for us, that it's really a beautiful thing, man. And like,
Yep. Yep. I
that's why,
agree.
like I wanted to come into the show, okay, and I didn't tell you this, but I wanted to come into the show and just bring this positive kind of air that I feel like has been sucked out of the room recently, with all the negativity, with all the uncertainty with these companies, and kind of like the business decisions that they're making. And I just wanted to bring it back to fun and gaming, and us gamers having a good time, and focus on the devices and the games. You know what I mean? And I hope
I
that we
do.
were able to accomplish that for the audience tonight, man.
Absolutely. And before we get out of here, I will say, because this is plug time. Before we get
Yep.
out of here, one thing. Well, first and foremost, I did put a poll in the chat early on just to see what people thought. I posted in there. Copilot AI. Are you interested? Option one was hell yes. The AI revolution is here. Option two was 3D TVs all over again.
Mhm.
71% are futurists like us. They
Oh
say,
wow,
hell yeah, the AI revolution's here.
that's great.
29% are like, we shall see. I
Yeah.
appreciate y'all.
Hey man, that's
Thanks for
awesome. You
taking
didn't
part.
put. What about the poll? Are you NHO for life? Did you put that
You
one
can
up? Or?
calm down. You can calm down.
Listen, we're gonna get
Another thing I'll post on real quick
sure.
before we go. I just put a curated list in the Discord, in the chat right now, and I hope you guys will take part. I'm kind of playing around in the Steam waters right now. Right now, that list is basically all the curated content. There's about 10 reviews there. 10 games that I recommend you check out, indie style games, if you are so inclined to want to do that. I want more people to join. There's actually a group, almost a Discord, what do you call it? Like a forum type group in there. If you want to take part in it, you can put your own lists out. You can tell us what you're playing. You can, we can get as heavy as we want in that water. Another place that we can communicate. I just thought it'd be interesting to put it into Steam, because there are a lot of new Steam users out there that want to get their feet wet and understand what this is about. So once again, appreciate you, Zach Riley. I see you in there. If you want to take part, jump in, join us, Mr. Wolf. I'm gonna give you mod status. You should join us as well. We want to start jumping in there, and one day when you're on your deck, or when you're on any of those devices that access Steam, you'll see, hey man, your friends are online and I recommended you join them. That's how we get to play on that platform as well. So So I hope people jump in. Yeah,
I love it. Yeah, and Kay, I think I'm gonna ask you these last two questions, and I think I know the answer to. Actually, I do know the answer to both of them, but let us know what you're gonna be playing this week, what you have planned to play. I think we all know what that's gonna be, and then
I mean,
any other shows you're gonna be on this week, bro.
So there are 2 games that I'll be playing. Well, 3 actually. 3. One that God damn it! Now I'm thinking about it. 4. One game that I won't. 2 games that I have not been able to put down. One has eaten my life for many months, and that is Balatro. It's a card game. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. If you want to know what it is, check it out on that Steam curators list there. I love that game. I'm playing that game constantly. To me, it's like chess. It's a beautiful thing. I play one move, and then I come back to it 20 minutes later. It's still waiting for me. I love that game.
Yeah,
that's one. Game number 2, believe it or not, and I got a lot of smoke for it. Yeah, that's fine. I still love it. That is Ghost of Tsushima. I've been playing that on PC. I love it.
Oh, you mean baby's first samurai game, as you call it?
It is. It is.
Gotcha.
It is baby's. if you are watching Shogun, which I'm watching Shogun, like, it's great, but it's baby first samurai game. It is, right? They shave the corners, they make it beautiful, but it's still a great story. It's still a beautiful looking game.
Dude,
I can't stop playing.
So many people mad with that comment that I was just cracking up in the chat. Okay, and let me tell you something. If you guys think that Hollywood John Wolf is slanderous, you got no idea. This man right here is a killer. Okay.
Hey. I say it how it's meant to be said. I'm not trying to offend. Look, but see, and you can talk all the smack you want. I bet I got more time in Ghost of Tsushima than almost anybody.
Oh yeah,
I played that game like
you have it more than me. That's for sure. I haven't played through it all yet.
I can play the game. I can give it the criticism and still love the game that we're playing. And then the third game that I'll be playing, which let's be clear, I will be playing this game. That, of course, is Hellblade 2, ladies and gentlemen.
Of course,
that is coming out at 4:00 in the morning tomorrow, my time.
Yeah, so, I'm not going to be playing that time, though.
No. Let's just say that's what's going to be. I'm going to be having. I'm going to be sick tomorrow, even though I'm home working. But yeah, Hellblade 2 is going down tomorrow. So that's what
I got to preload that. Actually, now that we're talking, I gotta preload that. So and what's the 4th game?
Well, the 4th game that I've been playing for some time, and I will continue to play that game. I love it so much. I have played it for a long time, and that is No Rest for the Wicked. I've been playing it for a while now. I can't stop playing it. It's freaking awesome. It's great.
That's great. That's great, Kay. And what other shows are you going to be on this week so that the good folks can tune in?
So actually, this Wednesday, I will be on, of course, Double Barrel Gaming, Mr. Boomstick and Friends. I will be back. Last week I couldn't join. Love it. It's all good. Love going on the show, talking with the brothers, having a great time. I'll be there this weekend. I will also be obviously doing GCP this weekend. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Everborn Saga will not be joining us this weekend because he will be flying to Florida. I might meet in the middle and have a drink. He has a buddy. He's coming to visit. So we might meet in the middle, but I will have the great One Bad Mother on to talk to be my second. And because we have Hellblade 2 footage, and we know by then we'll be all knee deep into Hellblade, I will have the Wandering Dutch joining us because you got to talk to the Viking when you're playing a Viking game. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
It'll be a great weekend. We'll talk about Hellblade. We'll talk about what we think is coming out for the showcases. I'm expecting it to be a lot of fun.
That's good. And Kay, for me, you're also going to be probably on Boom Show on Wednesday, right? On Prime Time Game.
Yeah. As
okay,
I said,
fantastic. Well, for me, Kay, all I know is I'm going to cut a promo before we go here. And let me tell you something, brother, okay? You can mute yourself right now because Hollywood John Wolf is taking over, all right? Let me tell you something, Ragoons. I tried to give you all a chance. I pleaded with you. I said, put a bigger battery in the ROG Ally. And what did you do? You told me to stick it, brother. Well, you know what, Ragoons? You can stick it because I've upgraded my game. So what you gonna do when we run wild on you?
See, says the man who used to be the one man. Says the man who used to be a one-man capping band for his ally and his proprietary eGPU.
Calm
down, sir.
I dropped that leg
Calm
drop.
down.
Okay, I dropped that leg drop. It's over. Okay, it's time to go, guys. Peace.
You
know where to
don't
find
get
us,
to
guys.
do that. You
It's
don't
over.
get to do that.
Cut it. Cut the show. Cut the show, brother. Cut it. Cut it. Cut those cameras, brother.
See y'all next week, man.
Peace, man.